welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. And yeah, another dungeon. Now, here's the adventure I was looking for. I've got a job that needs doing and something tells me you'll be just the one to do it. Now, stop me if I've got this wrong, but a little bird told me that you'd been in and out of a Great Gubal Library, and that a walking, talking broom of all things showed you the way in. Well, I suppose the letter bit's neither here nor there. Long story short, a certain person has just something they want from that library. A hefty leather-bound tome, to be exact, and they've asked me to find the right woman to retrieve it. That's just one rub. Seems some heedless interloper, mind you, I'm not looking to point fingers here, left the door to the forbidden vaults wide open, allowing what seems like every voidtent and ensorcelled abomination in the Encyclopedia Eorzea to saunter right in. Fortunately, the strapping lass standing right in front of me knows the place like the back of her hand. I just need you to make like your broom friend, sweep out of the nasties and retrieve the tome for my client. Simple enough, right? I'll meet you there. Yeah. And let's return to the Great Library. Ah, there you are. Good to see a woman who doesn't shy away from a challenge. You see a sturdy-looking door just ahead and to your left. That'll be the entrance to the Forbidden Vaults. This is as far as I can take you. It's my contract, you see? Anyhow, my client and I are both counting on you to retrieve that tome. Watch your back in there and try to keep it down. It is a library, after all. And welcome, once again, to the Great Gubal Library. Still full of, fiends. Quickly now! I'm over here! The mobs here have great names, by the way. Not there, here. I'm tired of waiting, but you can't catch me. The Boy and the Dragon game. Later. Bibliovore. So, book eater. too slow. Oh, this would be so much fun. Flee, flee. Yeah. All that for a room full of mobs. And there's a demon of a tome. Our first boss. And once the battle begins, the tome is gone. Which makes this fight a lot easier than the one in the normal mode. Avoid the markers, huh? Okay. Thump. Thump. And then they go together in order. Easy enough to evade. I think fire in the library is bad. on the culinary applications of goblins. Flying here. Right, the Book of Wind. Literally, to the next floor. And there's our second boss, the Liquid Flame. Biblioside. And where? What? Green? How? It would have been over there. And off into the glowing field that has the same marker as you. Which is that twig? Ah, what awaits us on the next floor? Powergos. More Powergos and statues that, yeah, that come to life as mammoths. More mammoths. And more of them. A panda. And there is our final boss. A chair. Well, an owl on a chair. With books. So, first time failed, so, you are unwelcome here. This you know, yet your thirst for knowledge brings you nonetheless. I would be happy to oblige. Yes, I believe this is a perfect volume for you. And when it casts on the properties of quakes, run into the levitation fields the first box gave you. What's this one? Theories on the existence of river imps. That piqued my interest. Those are the green fields that turn you into river imps. The properties of tornadoes, where we go into the purple fields, which makes us heavy. And the tornado doesn't get us up. On the properties of imps. So, we transform into river imps, go into the green field to undo the spell as well. Don't go in there when you're not turned into an imp. Otherwise you become one. Out. Behold this collection of grimoires of legends. Feel their power and puissance and let them fill you with rapturous pleasure. Then die! And this is a behemoth coming out of a book. Now a behemoth drops a rock somewhere on the field. That was the wave effect they had here. And if you're too slow, it begins casting meteor. And then you have to hide behind the rock. We didn't need it this turn. Okay, but that was the Great Gubal Library heart. And back in Idyllshire. Well, look who's back, and looking none the worse for wear, I might add. Well, what did you find in them? Quick glance at the pages of this hefty volume reveals to appear the titles of manifold books. And there it is, or at least I think it is. To tell you the truth, these musty, dusty tomes are all the same to me. So it certainly looks impressive, which I reckon should count for something. Anyhow, I'd best get one person who can tell us one way or another. Don't go wandering off, I'll be right back. And you must be the adventurer procured the tome at our behest. I'm Yayaka of the Thaumaturgist Guild, and on behalf of my eminent colleagues, I thank you. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Pray let's see this volume you have retrieved, so I might confirm that it's the self-same tome that we have so long sought. Of Fiends and Fairies, 1001 Immolation Incantations, Out of a Void, a catalogue of extra-dimensional visitors and preferred methods for their extermination. Gods be good, it's finally ours! The Great Gubal Library Index! Index? You mean this book you've been searching so hard is just some oversized list of other books? Just a list of books? Why, this is a comprehensive catalogue of each and every tome and epistle, housed within the single greatest repository of knowledge this realm has ever known. The Sharlians built this bastion of erudition and scholarly inquiry that Eorzea might benefit from wisdom compiled through the ages, only to see its treasures gather dust, these pages seen by none but the monstrosities that now haunt its halls. We would see the library restored to its former glory and ascertaining the full breadth and scope of its contents is a modest but most necessary first step. If the library were rebuilt, we'd see aspiring scholars flock in from all corners of Eorzea, which would go a long way to building Idyllshire into a real town. Whatever me and mine can do to lend a helping hand, you just say the word. Thank you, most heartening indeed. That is most heartening indeed. Doubtless the reconstruction process will entail no small amount of menial labor, in addition to the more intellectual duties that will be seen to by my colleagues and me. Why, to think the ever-surpassing heights of sheer destructive power that we might one day achieve, has my hands simply shaking in anticipation. The road ahead will be long, but thanks to you, we take our first step down it. Pray take this as a token of my gratitude. Because Thaumaturgist Guild. All about destruction. Good. But the last thing I want to do this episode is read all the books that are lying in the library. And until next time, then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost. Once upon a time, there lived a free-spirited boy who loved to play in the forest with his pet chocobo. But the forests were fraught with peril, and one day a band of brigands ambushed the boy, spiriting him away to the harsh mountains of the north. Yet there be dragons there, and as they rode up the mountain path, one of those majestic beasts came swooping down from the heavens. The boy's chocobo reared in fright, sending the boy tumbling down the mountainside to his nice certain demise. And yet the gods saw fit to spare his life, if only meagerly so. As he lay there, battered and broken, all manner of foul beasts drew near, threatening to rip him limb from limb. Just as the boy was making his peace with the 12, another dragon appeared. A smaller creature, yes, but even a small dragon is a fearsome opponent indeed. It was then that the strangest thing happened. With a mighty roar, the dragon turned upon the circling beasts and spit forth a burst of flame that reduced them to so much ash, saving the poor boy's life. With what half seemed a smile, the dragon approached the wounded child and gently raised him up to sit on his back, and the two flew off to the gods nowhere. Oh, but why must the gods curse me so? By what cruel trick of fate was I given this oversized, ungainly body and sent to this world where you abide, my princess, my goddess, my everything? Your delicate hands, your shapely head, your dark eyes in which I would lose myself and never return. Yes, every aspect of your being strikes me to depths of heart I knew not I had until the day you first appeared before me. And yet I am a Rogadin. Could one of your kind ever love a lumbering brute such as me? Good sense tells me the answer is no, but my heart, nay, my very soul will not accept it. For bereft of your company, I fear I will wither away into the wretched husk of what once was a man. Oh, have mercy on this poor soul, my goddess. Pray, grace me with your presence when next you travel call you to Limsa. My beloved grey flocks, just say the word, and I'm yours forever. And next, over the horizon, Redux. It is widely known that the Mamulja boasts one of the most impressive indigenous societies to be found in the New World. It would be a mistake, however, to view the Mamulja as a single, uniform people. A careful analysis of documents brought back by explorers reveal that the Mamulja are more accurately described as a federation or alliance of numerous distantly related tribes, each with distinguishing physical characteristics. The brown-scaled Hubigu, with their distinctively long combs, the large-eyed blue-scaled Bunwa, the mottled Dopro. It is further said that although Mamulja rarely marry outside their own tribes, such unions do occur on the occasion of certain religious observances and are known to produce two-headed offspring that are hailed as blessed siblings and groomed to be warlords from a young age. Indeed, the ruler of all Mamulja kind is known to be one of them. From mutton to maul, oyster to Aubon, eel to eft, a Eorzea does not want for delicious and delightful ingredients to stimulate the senses of any culinarian. And yet, how it is that we came to know that the flesh of these creatures would pleasure our palates so? The answer is self-evident. Every familiar ingredient, someone at some point in our history first took it upon him or herself to eat it. And yet, this answer raises another question. What wondrous flavors and textures remain undiscovered, just waiting for a brave soul to discover them? And so it was that I took it upon myself to investigate the culinary suitability of goblin flesh. Why goblins, you ask? To which I say, good reader, why not goblins? The above passage was composed by my elder brother. Sadly, they were his last words, the last words he ever wrote, for he soon discovered goblin feelers are poisonous. Armed with this knowledge and vowing that his sacrifice would not go to waste, I resolved to carry on his life's work. Proceedings of the 284th convocation of the Underpowering Council of Magi. A vote was called to settle on a name for a potent and newly fashioned healing spell. Being said that healing spell was an augmentation of Kuraga, Earth's the most potent healing spell, the following names were proposed by the council: Kurago, Kuraza, Kuraja, Kuragaya. Finding the aforewritten names duly lacking in gravity and the existing hierarchy of spell names needlessly abstruse, the council did vote by a margin of 17-3 to do away with existing naming conventions entirely and adopt a new system of numerical spell names, as writ below, to be used henceforth. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. It is recorded. Many scholars believe that the popular children's tale of a boy and the dragon gay is in fact an adaptation of an older Ashgardian myth, one telling of which is described below for the reader's reference. In a bleak village on the outskirts of Curthus, there lived a shepherd boy, poor but kind of heart. One day a band of ruffians came and spirited the boy away, seeking to deliver him to a slave trader in hopes of earning some coin. No sooner had they left the village than they were set upon by a great dragon. Down from the heavens it swooped, tearing the blackguards limb from limb, and showering their carcasses with hell's fire. But it was no mere chance that the Great Worm had found them, no. The boy had befriended the Great Worm some time ago, and had sensed danger to its dear friend. Alas, in the chaos the boy had tumbled from the mountains, and lay half dying at the base of the cliffs. Seeing its dear friend lying there, battered and beaten, the dragon gave unto the child of its blood. So it was that the boy took to the skies as the worm's minion, flying off to only the gods know where.